Hi, folks. Welcome to Mobility Matters. I'm your host, Javier Betancourt. My day job, I'm Executive Director of the Citizens Independent Transportation Trust, or CITT. We're an agency of Miami-Dade County charged with overseeing the half-penny sales tax for transportation and the implementation of the People's Transportation Plan. With me today is a wonderful guest that I've known for years and admire a lot, Jason Spiegel. Jason is the co-founder and managing partner of Freebie. Jason, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Javier. Good morning. Thank you for having me. Really excited to be here today. You guys do an awesome job on the show, so very excited for this conversation.
Thank you, and get ready to sign autographs after
Let's
this.
do it.
You know, everyone's going to know your name and face. So, Jason, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and how Freebie came to be.
Yeah,
and it's actually a very interesting story.
It's definitely an interesting story. A little background: I'm from Philadelphia.
Go Phillies!
Go Phillies! Go Eagles! Born and raised there. Lived there for my first 18 years, and was lucky enough to come down here to Miami to attend the University of Miami as a Hurricane, and from there graduated. And always thought I was going to go back to Philadelphia. Never had plans to stay down here, but I stayed down here. And I've been here now about 19 years, so I do consider this my second home. I still consider Philadelphia my first home.
Like most Miamians.
Like most
somewhere
Miamians.
else. Yeah, you root for your home team.
Yes, root for the home team. But yeah, my roots are still in Philadelphia, and obviously came down here for school. Never left. But when I graduated,
What'd you study, by the way?
I studied business management.
Yeah, so not transportation, not engineering. Okay.
Not engineering. Wasn't a planner. Yeah. But I was always an entrepreneur. So graduating at the height of recession, 08, 09, impossible to get a job. Yeah. I took my first job in phone sales. I was literally in a basement selling DirecTV on the phone.
You're the guy that called me that night.
Yeah, that was me. That's why you still have that dish on your house there. But no, I mean, I took what I could get at the time. I got into phone sales, but it was a great experience. What I learned within that job from the 2 years that I was there, and I will never go back to it. But what I learned, I've taken with me, throughout my entire professional career. Just in terms of being able to provide value, understand people's problems, provide solutions, and
how to sell.
How to sell, yes.
At the end of the day,
how to sell. Definitely learned that. But yeah, no. From there, phone sales wasn't going to be a forever job, so I left there in search of my next journey, and my next journey actually landed me to get my real estate license, probably like 99% of the people here within Miami as well.
Everyone's side hustle. If it's
everybody's
not your primary,
side hustle.
Right?
But I actually never was able to put that license to use. And it was actually within that time where, the freebie concept was kind of starting to come about within my mind. Started to see it in very small forms in terms of pedicabs, even horse and buggies providing this free transportation. You see advertisements on it. I said, wow, that's pretty cool. I said, we can do that better.
It's an opportunity.
It's an opportunity. Sure. So again, that was the concept when Freebie first launched. It was not transportation. It was providing free transportation, but the play wasn't, hey, we're going to make our money providing a transportation service. We said, no, this is a great marketing platform. Being able to provide somebody a free transportation service, their guard is down, they're excited, they're happy, and you're creating a great experience for them. So while doing that, you're now able to market a brand, and that was our concept. So it was going out to the Pepsis, the Coca-Colas, and getting them to say, hey, sponsor this service. We're going to provide this free transportation service. We could sample your products to the passengers as well. And at the same time, we're doing great for the community. You're providing this free transportation service. It's electric, it's green. And
it's fun.
It's fun.
Where did you launch this?
We launched this on South Beach.
Okay. Great place for advertising.
Great place to advertising. But that was the key, is where can we generate the revenue in order to actually maintain the service, right? If we don't have any revenue being generated, how are we going to pay for the vehicles? How are we going to pay for the insurance and everything that comes along with operating the service? So, but again, that was how we intended the freebie concept to kind of grow. It was, hey, we're going to continue to add vehicles to this fleet, and we're going to do that through this advertising kind of platform there. And it wasn't really until about 2015, 2016, when the Lyft and Uber kind of started to become, popular within the country, and then specifically breaking here into the Miami market, kind of unknown to, the entire county.
Yeah,
we
kind of just started doing it, right?
Yeah, I just started doing it.
Yeah.
But hey, we saw that and we said, wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah. That's a great concept. We're doing something similar. We don't have that technology, but if we develop that technology, maybe that will help us provide more value to our advertisers. We can maybe charge more money for our advertisements,
Sure.
create new revenue streams on this mobile application, while at the same time giving people a way to request a freebie ride. So that's when we kind of set out to say, hey, we're going to develop technology similar to Uber, but hey, we want to develop this entire concept where you'll have access to really everything within that community, all the restaurants and bars, arts and entertainment, just really everything at your fingertips there. Yeah. So we invested a lot of money, and we built the Ride Freebie mobile app. And once we launched the Ride Freebie mobile app, that's when literally the entire business model completely changed. Yeah. Now, instead of being a novelty car that you can wave down, go on Twitter to request a ride, you now had an actual way to go onto your phone and request a ride on demand with a push of a button and get picked up anywhere within the service area and get to where you need to go for free.
Right.
And people were like, whoa, this is crazy. I don't believe it. This doesn't make any sense. How is this type of service free?
It's Uber for free, basically.
It's Uber for free. And
with a fun element added to it, right? Because
yeah,
you guys always make those rides fun.
The experience is the key. And till today, it's all about the experience, right? Yeah. But again, at that time, still, the concept was we're going to generate our revenue through advertising, and that's how we're going to be able to provide this type of service. Right. We expanded into the Brickell market, the downtown market, and again, it was a very popular service. But at that time, we had a local municipality here in Miami-Dade County, Key Biscayne, who had reached out to us and said, hey, we love what you guys are doing in downtown, Brickell, South Beach. We have parking issues. We have traffic issues. We're a small island. We don't want our people to take out their vehicles to move around if they have to move around short distances. Can you guys provide that same service here?
And they had some of that culture already with the golf carts and everything,
absolutely.
Right? So
absolutely.
They were accustomed to it. They knew it worked,
yep,
right, to get cars up the street, but I guess not everyone had a golf cart of their own, so enter Freebie.
Correct, so enter Freebie. But again, we told them at the time, listen, we're not going to be able to sell advertising here in Key Biscayne like we are in South Beach and downtown of Brickell, where we can generate really enough revenue to be able to provide this type of service. But we told them, hey, listen, if you want this service and you want to, to have a reliable service where you have X amount of vehicles out at all times of the day, it's got to be funded similar to public transportation. And at the time, on-demand transportation for public transport, that was not a thing. That wasn't even being thought about. Right. But Key Biscayne said, you know what, this is going to work for our community. Let's pilot this project. Let's see if this will work. And basically, after 3 months, the ridership was sky high. The demand, the feedback was so positive. And that's what really started the pivot from, hey, Freebie is this advertising-based transportation service to now, wow, this is an actual real solution that can be implemented within communities to provide real value and solve real issues. And that's where we're at. That's what's got us to where we're at today.
And that was really your third pivot. So like any good entrepreneur, right, you remained open to new opportunities. You took a risk in pursuing new opportunities, and it's worked out, right? Because you started off with one model, kind of transitioned then to the app-based model, and then transitioned into becoming a true public transit provider.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So great job.
You got to stay on your feet.
UM taught you well. Go Canes.
Go Canes.
So this is where I step in, right? So at the time, I was the Economic Development Director for the City of Coral Gables. We were in the middle of the Miracle Mile Streetscape project, which had torn up the street, taken all the on-street parking. Our businesses were suffering, and we were looking for a way to mitigate that, right? And so we thought, we need to get people to downtown, to these retailers, comfortably. And how do we do that? I learned of what you were doing in Key Biscayne. I had already always known about you, having previously been at the DDA. And so we reached out, and our approach was really more of an economic development approach. We wanted to support our businesses. So tell us about that experience, and then how that pivoted then to a more permanent transit experience for the city.
So that's one of the beauties of the service is it is so customizable that we really design the service to meet what each city is really looking to achieve there.
Right.
Coral Gables wasn't necessarily a transportation play. It was how do we create more economic development? How do we get people to spend money within our business district here where we have this big project that's going on. People don't want to come down here. There's no parking, tons of traffic and congestion. So really, the economic component of that, it's such an important part of the Freebie platform. And what we do for people that don't know about that side of the Freebie business is on top of providing this on-demand door-to-door service, on our Freebie app, we actually go door-to-door to all the local businesses. We provide them a platform on the mobile application to advertise their business. It's free for them. We allow them to offer these exclusive deals and discounts, and this is done for two reasons. Reason number one, to drive economic development within these communities, provide more value outside of just moving somebody from point A to point B. But on the opposite spectrum, when you're providing this free transportation to these local businesses, this free advertising to the local businesses, they now are part of the program and they want to promote the program.
Sure.
So now they're promoting it through their marketing channels. By them promoting it through their marketing channels, Freebie promoting it, the city promoting it, that's how you continue to increase ridership month after month and continue to grow the program. So within that first year of the pilot program, it grew so fast. It became so popular. It was something that everybody wanted to use there. And, you know, something that's very also interesting with on-demand transportation, it really serves two different groups of rider bases, right? In public transportation, you have people that need to use public transit because they don't own vehicles, they might be lower income, they might not have a driver license anymore, and that's a group of riders that need to use public transportation.
Dependent users.
Dependent users. Then on the opposite end, you have another group of users called choice users, much higher incomes, have vehicles, they don't have to use public transportation.
Right.
But with services like Freebie that is on demand, that's going to pick you up at your home, deliver you somewhere right within your community, door to door for free, you are now attracting these choice riders to use that same service that, you know, these people that need to use the service are now you have everybody using it.
Right.
And it's created such a high demand, but at the same time, it's also proven how equitable the service is. You have every age demographic, every socio-demographic user using the service at different times of the day, different times of the night for different means, and it's servicing everybody. Freebies for everybody. So that's the beauty of it. But again, during that first year in the pilot project in Coral Gables became so popular, was the highest ridership that we've ever seen out of any area, and continued up until the pandemic to really be the model of what on-demand transportation is. And after that 1 year of pilot, the city said, hey, this is actually very valuable for our downtown. It complements our trolley system. It's not competing with our trolley system. It allows people to move around our downtown, and if they need to move further, Freebie connects them to that trolley stop to get them to that final destination there. So again, it was a pilot project. I don't believe it was meant to be a permanent solution there, but it actually proved to be a real solution, and that's why Freebie is still continuing to operate in Coral Gables today.
And not just Key Biscayne and Coral Gables. Obviously, you've grown to serve many other municipalities, and I'll let you share those numbers. But now enter the TPO and the CITT, right? So the TPO being the Transportation Planning Organization, they have this wonderful plan called the SMART Plan, which is going to provide rapid transit corridors throughout the county. So this is either extension of Metro Rail, bus rapid transit, people mover, monorail, et cetera. But what they really wanted to tackle, in addition to that, was that first last mile connectivity to that system, right? You could build these wonderful corridors, but if people can't get to it easily, they're not going to use it. And to the existing system, for that matter, right? Metro Rail, Metro Mover. So I think the TPO certainly saw an opportunity to use on-demand service as part of that first last mile solution, and developed a program called Smart Demonstration Projects to help fund that. They were going to provide 50% of the funding, and the municipalities would use their half-penny funds from the Citizens Independent Transportation Trust to provide the local match, right? So it became 50-50, and many of those projects ended up being serviced by Freebie. So tell us a little bit more about that program, more than I just mentioned, and how many cities you're serving and what's in the works.
Yeah, so right now we serve about 20 different municipalities here within Miami-Dade County.
Wow.
We also service as far south as Isla Mirada in the Florida Keys. As far north right now in Florida as Delray Beach, on the West Coast in St. Pete Beach. And then we also just launched our first out-of-state market this summer with the city of Virginia Beach.
Okay.
You know, with those smart demonstration projects, you know, those were a big, you know, it was a platform to be able to show that these services actually work and actually provide real value. So a couple of our first projects within the smart demonstration projects, the Village of Pinecrest, Village of Palmetto Bay, and the Pinecrest program is one that we really like to talk about. Obviously, it's a very suburban type community. You know, you can put
a lot of choice riders.
A lot of tons and tons of choice riders there. But what we've been able to see is that we are capturing everybody there. You are capturing the choice riders. You're capturing the riders that need to use public transit. You're capturing students that need to go to and from school, to and from sports practice every day. You're capturing commuters that are connecting to and from the Metro Rail in the mornings and afternoons. You're connecting the families that want to go out for dinner after work. You are literally providing a service for every single person within that community there. And you saw that it was equally split between all the different demographics. And like I mentioned, everybody was using it at different times of the day for different means. And it was very important. It was getting people out of their cars. It was connecting them to transit. It was providing economic development. And we were able to do this, obviously, with the help of the TPO and obviously with the help of the CITT. A few years back, CITT funds were not allowed to be used for on-demand transportation. So there was a lot of cities that wanted to provide this type of service, but just didn't have the funding mechanisms to be able to provide this service. Now, with CITT being able to provide services and be able to provide on-demand service, you now have cities like Florida City, who before weren't able to afford these services, using the on-demand Freebie system, and it has been amazing there. People don't own cars there. They need to get to their jobs. They need to connect to transit. They need to get to school. They need to get to the hospitals. They need to get to the grocery stores. And it's provided such great value to a city like that. And just, again, on the opposite spectrum, just like a city like Coral Gables or Pinecrest or Palmetto Bay, everybody gets to be able to have a valuable type of service for them.
Yeah, we always ask the cities, every year we have an annual municipal workshop, you know, what can we do different? What can we do to help you? And they asked us to please amend the ordinance to allow us to provide on-demand service, and then later on to amend it further to allow us to provide the service outside of our jurisdictional boundaries, particularly for smaller cities that may not have any kind of commercial use within their boundaries. You know, it's great that the residents can pick up a freebie, but where are they going with it, right? So now they're able to go up to 5 miles in any direction and get people, you know, across those city boundaries to where they want to go, grocery store, doctor's office, et cetera. So the cities are obviously benefiting from the program and really appreciate it. Let's talk now also about data. One of the great things I love about this service is that because it's app-based, you're able to collect a lot of information, both on the user activity, on demographics, et cetera, and share that information with the city. So we know if it's working or if it's not, and we can adapt quickly because of that.
Yeah, no, data is everything. Data drives decision-making. So again, every single one of these projects has started off as a pilot project, a 6-month pilot, a 1-year pilot to collect that data. We're collecting data from the moment the program launches. We're able to see everything in real time. We're able to analyze everything over a period of time and say, hey, this is working, but we can also make these adjustments to make it work even better. It's all about how do we create as much efficiency within the service as possible, understanding when the peaks are, when, you know, there's non-peaks, how do we accommodate more during those peak hours, how do we minimize on wait times, maximize on ridership. But data is the most important piece to all of that, and we collect so much data. We're able to slice and dice it in so many different ways. We work hand in hand with the TPO to make sure they have a full understanding on how every single project is working and how they're all performing on a day-to-day, month-to-month basis there. It's very important.
Wow, that's great. And so, and again, we receive a lot of that data, and it really is very useful. Much better information than you receive on a traditional transit system where you're not really collecting that. So thank you for that component. So what's the future look like for Freebie in the few minutes we have remaining? I know there's technology. Are you going automated? Are you going larger vehicles, shared trips? What's the future look like?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot in store in the future. And, you know, one of the things I think is important to really understand here in South Florida is that on-demand service is creating real change when it comes to the transportation ecosystem. We live in a very, very car-centric culture here. Most people, anywhere they need to go, they're taking their personal vehicle out. They're not even thinking twice about it. But because of services like Freebie and Go Connect and other on-demand services, you are now giving real people reasons to leave their car at home. If you're able to provide them services that is just as convenient, just as reliable, cost-effective, and safe as them taking their vehicle out, and you're picking them up at their house and taking them where they need to go for free, you are now creating that real change. So within that, we have all this technology that we're going to be releasing over this next year. Shared rides. We actually are outfitting the vehicles with all these smart city sensors to be able to collect air pollution data, all this other data that we're also going to be able to feed back to the different municipalities. And again, for us, it's how do we create an experience for the rider? Because if you create a good experience for the rider, they're coming back. Sure. If you create a bad experience for the rider, they're not coming back. So again, it's convenient services, but at the same time creating a great experience for them and also creating a great service for the communities. It's not just about the rider, it's also about the community. How do we get the community more involved within the services, helping to promote their public service announcements, promoting their events, the businesses, connecting them to wherever they need to go within their community. And that's really the goal and the mission of Freebie, is to really connect you to your community. And that's really what the future holds, is you're going to see so much more involvement with the community, with the economic development. Really, you're going to want to go onto the Freebie app to know where to go and what to do within your city. What are the best happy hours? Where's live music today? What is the best sushi restaurant? Where's arts and culture? That's what you're going to be going onto the Freebie app to see. And then anytime you want to go somewhere, you're going to click a button, take me here. A Freebie vehicle is going to pick you up right where you're at and take you right where you need to go. And that's really what the future of Freebie is.
Well, listen, sushi sounds pretty good right now. We're nearing the lunch hour, and so thank you for that. We are out of time, unfortunately. I know you and I can keep talking for hours, and I hope to have you back in the show in the future to talk about more of your successes and the future of Freebie and on-demand transportation. So thank you for being a guest. Thank you for what you do. Kudos and congratulations on your success, and may it continue.
Thank you, Mr. Javier.
Thanks, Jason.
Appreciate it.
Folks, that is all for today. Thank you for joining us here on Mobility Matters. Please join us every other Thursday, roughly around 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And as always, I'd like to thank our partners in this endeavor, community newspapers, for